The first section, the opening section, is public order, and this work I actually began before I started my MA at the Royal College, and I went with actually this image in my portfolio to interview, and this image ended up being on the wall in the Tate, so there's a really nice kind of trajectory to it. And the police were very, very generous in terms of supporting what I wanted to do. They were very welcoming. They were quite disappointed that I didn't actually photograph all the riots that they set up in these places. And these small towns, and they are kind of just about to scale, and they look very much like very run-down British towns. And they practice every day for riot situations in these towns. I did actually start off by photographing that and realised that there was so much more kind of power and like the sense of latent violence that's in the work. Is much more evocative than trying to get some action shots.
Is there something autobiographical or something that sparked off this interest?
Yeah, I think I didn't really acknowledge at first. I've kind of wanted to be a forensic photographer, or really like the idea of being some kind of an investigator. So I was kind of living out that fantasy by working with these institutions. My dad, who's a very traditional working class guy, is very into rules. He's like, my house, my rules. And I was very into smashing the system. I go, well, I'm not going to do that, Dad. So I was kind of thinking about rebellion and this idea that these patriarchal systems are set in place and they're kind of a given. So nobody's questioning why these towns are kind of designed in the way they're designed. And I suppose public order situations have really changed in the last 10 or 15 years, and riots happen anyway. They happen in the countryside about fox hunting or in the city. So these places don't really represent the rioters anymore. So another thing that really I think has influenced the work is the fact that my mum is always worried about the worst case scenarios. I think the motivation for this work came about because it was photographed at the time that we went to war with Iraq, and I was involved in demonstrations, as I'm sure a lot of people were. As the series developed, I was thinking about the training scenarios that the soldiers go through, and the soldiers who are new go through training scenarios in home territories, and they would use devices like this to create a sense of realism. And there's something which is very spectacular and also very tragic about them. And there's kind of references to the filmic, there's references to computer games, and also to the tradition of landscape photography.